The celebration of Christmas is exciting enough to breathe new life into dusty old words and to cause genealogies to get up off the page and dance around. And that's exactly what it does in Matthew chapter 1. A Jewish male can quote his genealogy back to 18 generations. But surprisingly enough, never one time does a Jewish male mention a female in his genealogy. It's always a male-oriented genealogy. But when Jesus Christ came, he made a break from traditions of the past and included 4 women in his genealogy. And it's exciting to see who he mentioned. There are some amazing women in the Old Testament. We know of Sarah, and this was a woman of faith, a woman who stood by her husband's side and followed a dream and hope across a desert for 60 years of her life. But Jesus doesn't mention Sarah in his genealogy. We know of Samuel's mother, who was a woman of great faith, who prayed for a son and then devoted him to the Lord. And what a testimony she is, but she's not mentioned in Jesus' genealogy. We know of Moses' mother, Jochebed. What an amazing woman she was, entrusting the Lord with her son and seeing that God used him to deliver the people from bondage. And as amazing as she is, you won't find her mentioned in the genealogy of our Savior. When Jesus came, he identified himself with the worst of us. And as a Jewish male, come to be the Savior of the world, the King of Kings, before whom all of the kings bow, you would imagine that he would highlight an amazing genealogy to establish his authority. But instead, he identified himself with you and with me. And says in his genealogy, Abraham begat Isaac, Isaac begat Jacob, just like any good Jewish genealogy would, some well-known male names. But it says, and Judas begat Phares and Zerah of Tamar. Jesus brings a woman into his genealogy, which is a first. And not any woman. We're talking about a scarlet-lettered prostitute. A woman who disguised herself as a whore, seduced her father-in-law into producing seed with her, and bare twins from an incestuous relationship. Isn't that amazing? We're not talking about just any women in Jesus' genealogy. We're talking about desperate housewives here. And it goes on. That's not where he leaves it off at. He says, and Salmon begat Boaz of Rahab. This isn't just an adulteress. This is a woman who makes her living by advertising herself for sale. And Jesus says, these are my people. This is where I come from. We've given this life everything we've got and then some. It ain't always pretty, but it's real. These are my people. And Boaz, we got Obed of Ruth, a Moabitess, one of the tribe that Jesus told the Israelites to utterly destroy from the land, to have nothing to do with. And Jesus says, yeah, this is pretty much all I have to boast of. I come from a long line of characters. We don't find women or men of character in this family tree. We find characters. Isn't it nice? That means that Jesus identifies himself with you and with I. And David, the king, begat Solomon of, it doesn't even use her name, it says her, that had been the wife of Uriah. It identifies her by her iniquity. Jesus literally became of no reputation so that we would feel right at home in his presence. 4 women in a Jewish family tree. Never before has a woman been mentioned, and Jesus identifies 4 desperate housewives to give you and I a message. You think you come from a messed up family? So did the Savior of the world. You think your past is too shameful to overcome? Welcome to the family of God. And if you're not a part of this family yet, there's always room for one more screw up. One more character. And that's who Jesus invites into his family. That's who he welcomes to become joint heirs with him, to be sons of God, is those who are willing to recognize that Jesus Christ makes the difference.